Ukraine's success in the 2016 Summer Paralympics shouldn't have come as a surprise. The country is ranked highly on every Summer and Winter Paralympic medal table since Athens 2004. In the build-up to the Games, one of the capital's metro stations was covered with the faces of former Paralympic champions. One of Ukraine's first and greatest Paralympic heroes was Olena Akopian. She was the first Ukrainian woman to medal at the Paralympic Games in 1996, and over the course of her career, she won 15 medals for both skiing and swimming. Olena was born in Yanakievo in the Donetsk region to a coal miner and a music teacher. She had a normal childhood until her life was changed forever after a tragic incident in a neighboring city. She was attacked by robbers on a particularly ominous day, Friday the 13th. She suffered knife wounds and was rushed to the hospital with a life-threatening spinal injury. Her life trajectory had been irreversibly altered, and while she may have rightfully looked at the world more cynically after the incident, she decided to maintain a more positive outlook. The day was Friday the 13th. I was injured on Friday the 13th. Afterwards, I could have decided to view that day as unfortunate, the worst, the one that changed my life. But I can even say thanks that it changed my life. After all, you can't fight fate. Olena calls Friday the 13th the luckiest day in her life, but she is certain never to wish that kind of lucky day on anyone else. She's more likely to wish another kind of Friday the 13th to others. The ones where she won awards and set world records. The ones that came only after years of hard work and dedication, pushing her own limits. This work ethic and competitive spirit was inspired by two things completely distant from the world of sports. Her first passion in life, music, and her biggest inspiration, her father. When I was little, he was always on the board of honor, always winning something. That is, not even as an athlete, but as a worker. He was a coal miner. I always dreamed about being like Dad, and this feeling of competitiveness was always missing. I wasn't even an athlete while I was taking music lessons. I tried to do something else, but music was first for me, and I wasn't allowed to quit music to do something else. Olena didn't quit music after her injury either. Instead, she's continued pursuing the hobby to this day. In some ways, it's a hat tip to the work ethic it instilled in her, since music was her first struggle. She spends time playing her favorite piano, but only under the appropriate conditions, when nothing can disturb her practice and playing. I was always annoyed, including in sports. Everything bothered me. Nothing went well, nothing was set up right, the lane wasn't right, everything was bad. The lady of pretension. There's the lady of the camellia, and I'm the lady of pretension. This is a Bach prelude. I love it so much. I really like it. I've been playing it for a long time. Well, it's approachable. The music isn't very complicated, but it still requires skill. Her favorite composer is Sergei Rachmaninoff, a kind of kindred spirit. She shares his unique perspective and rebellious nature. When I was at music school, each note had its own color, each piece had its own color, each composer had their own mood. For example, my favorite composer is Rachmaninoff, but I don't play his pieces at the moment because he's very difficult to understand and play. I would need a pedal, I would need a lot of practice. So in order not to torment myself, or the piece, or the composer, I only listen to it. My favorite concerto of Rachmaninoff is his second one. As any true artist does, Olena is great at taking inspiration or lessons learned from one field and applying them to another. She even credits her bronze medal at the 1998 Nagano Paralympics to her musical prowess. I won a bronze medal in skiing because of music. Music taught me not to give up. You fall, you get up, you go. I had the same situation while skiing, when I fell in a turn and I got up and went on, because I remembered this rule. I beat out an Italian woman by 4/100ths of a second to win bronze. With music as her inspiration, Olena reached unprecedented success. She was the first Ukrainian woman to win a Paralympic medal. Then she became the first to win medals at both the Summer and Winter Games. Then she became the first to win 15 medals. Her decorated career was due to an unparalleled competitive nature that drove her to compete in several sports simultaneously. While she's mostly known as a gold medal swimmer, she also competed in biathlon, cross-country skiing, athletics, and wheelchair racing, and she wasn't afraid to get dirty in the process. Once I even greased my wheels with vegetable oil. Then I trained on that wheelchair. Then comes our mechanic before the start. "Listen," he says, "let me clean your wheelchair." He looks inside and there's vegetable oil. He says, "Well, good job. Looks like we have another mechanic here." And then he greased my wheelchair properly, cleaned all the bearings, lubricated it with machine oil. I went on to win. I got second place. I even beat out one girl, a renowned racer from Moscow, and I beat her, and she was very much surprised. "How is it that I race so much and you come here and win just like that?" Of course, success in sports can mean very little if you don't have people to share your triumphs with. And Olena is perhaps even more successful on this front. She has a happy, healthy family, a husband, and 2 wonderful children. In typical modern fashion, she met her husband online. I didn't even know who it was. I was just talking to this person. After some back and forth, Olena wrote to me that she'd had a spinal injury. I didn't pay much attention to that. It didn't make much of a difference to me. Well, a spinal injury. So what? So it happened to a person. This person also wants to talk, and they need to talk. They're a healthy person.
Так произошло, допустим, с человеком. Он тоже хочет общения, с ним нужно общаться, это здоровый человек, то бишь вот.
In the end, they got married and had twins, Yehor and Mariana. And in keeping with the theme of applying life lessons to other situations, Olena actively tries to give her children more freedom than she was offered, even though they can sometimes act up as much as she did as a child. I was a rambunctious kid, but my mom kept a tight grip on me. I don't do that with my children, because I understand that they shouldn't be prevented from doing something. They need to be given freedom, and they'll open up more than I did. I know that there was a lot of potential inside of me, but since I was a very obedient child, I was always afraid to do something wrong, afraid to make a mistake. So I didn't achieve a lot of the things that I could have achieved. The kids and their mother go everywhere together. And although Yehor and Mariana are twins, their personalities are seriously different. They're both talented. Yehor is obsessed with construction and design. Mariana loves dancing and singing. And Olena made sure her kids started studying English in their early childhood. She sees it as a vital skill in the modern world.
Autumn.
Okay, all together let's revise the seasons. 1, 2, 3.
I see the results, and we chose a very good teacher, and we're happy with what we have. And I like the fact that children are learning, and they're doing really well. I had nothing like this. I only had music school, sometimes swimming, because it was so far away and cold. Well, I lived in a city where I had to take 2 buses to get to the pool, and it was difficult for a child who was in the 3rd grade. Throughout her life, Olena has been fighting not only for success, but also to shed the label of disabled. And if you ask the people in her life, they struggle to use that word to describe her. It's just not something they see in her. I don't even have the heart to say this word, because to us, Olena is a strong personality. Everyone knows her as Olena the champion, Olena the athlete, Olena the swimmer. And Vika, my daughter, always says that Olena is a person who won a medal, and I want to be like her. Olena is an ideal, like a role model. Like any person, Olena had self-doubts, but in the end, she became an unbreakable woman with strong character who achieved well-deserved recognition and success, a hero for Ukrainians. When I was just a person with a disability, I was miserable. I was always looking for reassurance in other people's eyes. And when I became an athlete, I became more self-confident. And now, when I go out and do something or achieve something, I think of this in a different way. I turn on my disability when I need a free parking space. I turn on my disability when there's no way that I can stay in a line. But mostly, I don't use it. And while her family and friends don't see her as a disabled person, sometimes there's a little bit of an overcorrection. When I ask my family to do something, and they don't do it, they look at me and say, "We don't see you as a person with a disability." I get a little offended, and I say, "Well, do you see me as a woman?" That is to say, many people don't see me as a person in a wheelchair. Olena Akopian is a Ukrainian success story and a true hero worthy of admiration. And her counterparts in the 2016 Paralympic team, the athletes who undoubtedly looked to her for encouragement just a decade ago, will take the torch to continue inspiring Ukrainians to take their lives in their own hands and forge their own paths, no matter how difficult it may be. After all, sports can often be a microcosm of life in general, and if we draw inspiration from Olena Akopian, surely we can accomplish anything.
Нужно тебе